Oh, geez, I gotta really stop starting with the cough. Ooh, boy, that's a little embarrassing. Anyways, I wanted to talk about Bison. I was gonna do it through the gameplay of like the fighting ground, but then I'm just thinking, why do that when I can just go through with my character? So my thing with Bison, my first exposure to him was through Street Fighter 4, Super Street Fighter 4 on the 3DS, because that was my only access to games at the time. Played the hell out of it. I mentioned in my first video that I'm not exactly great with fighting games, so when I learned how Bison works, well, I didn't really learn how he works. The stuff like that, I didn't learn how to do without that weird button system that the 3DS had. Like, sure, I got better when I was using the controller, through like the 360 when I got the original Super Street Fighter 4. Well, rather, I got fucking Ultra. Damn. But anyway, not the point. I only got better until like many years later, so for the most part, I was just mostly using those buttons because why the hell not? It was difficult, because of course it is, but beyond. Yeah, I already know you guys are not gonna do shit with me. You're too scared of me. I'm too powerful for you. But anyway. Yeah, I like that he's just evil, He's just evil. There's nothing deep about him. If there was something deep about him, there's nothing stopping him from necessarily, being evil. Like, it's not nothing stopping him. He doesn't care. He's sadistic. Yeah.
Will be no problem. I bet you're struggling. Feeling okay? Fighting is fun.
That was distracting. Anyways, so my thing with Bison, the fact that he's a dictator named Bison, like legit named the animal, makes him interesting to me because in the same universe, people legit fear him, hate him, despise him, all these different things, right? Despite the fact that his name is Bison. And I just never questioned it. And I learned through like playing him and beating the characters, etc. And like he has an interesting sense of humor and all these different things. He's just evil. And then sometime later, I learned about Juri and how she's connected to Bison, Chun-Li, all these different things. Because basically, what I'm trying to say is my first ever Street Fighter game was Super Street Fighter 4, and it just went uphill from there. Naturally, I played previous games before that, or at least the ones I could have access to, or if I didn't, I would just watch videos, and that's it. Learn the shit about Bison, how Psycho Power works. And yeah, I watched the Jurion OVA. List goes on and on and on. You get what I'm trying to say. So my thing with Bison is the fact that it's unfortunate knowing the fact that nowadays Bison would be treated as like not seriously enough, and that saddens me. Like, yeah, back like at the time he was taken seriously when I was playing him, and before that he was taken more seriously. But again, you know how people are a lot of times. If Bison was made in a movie today, they would try to make him seem more complex and all these different things, knowing how people are. And I don't want that. I want him to be evil. You know what I mean? I want him to be evil. Especially when I learned about the stuff about the dolls. It's like, why would you want that to be sympathetic in any capacity? You know what I mean? Those dolls are not getting a life of their own. And not to mention the clones he has, like Abel, Ed, Falk. that giant gorilla dude, and all these different things that you happen they learn about in Street Fighter 6, etc. I mean, Psycho Power is evil. It's legit evil. Even if you somehow made it work in your favor, that it's a tragic backstory, whatever. I don't fucking know. I just don't think a tragic backstory is going to work for Bison. If you do, it's not going to be Bison because it's not him. So anyway, I don't care. My thing with Bison is that he's a classic kind of evil I wish would come back, especially nowadays. I feel like people are too used to the complex, the deep, the sympathetic, the understandable, all this fun shit. I just want my classic evil dictator, villain types, terrorists, all those fun things. You know what I mean? That's all you need. Like, I really want that back. Like, sure, we're getting some back, but there's clearly the push for, you know, it's still there. I'm kind of disgusted by it. Anyways, my thing about Bison is the fact that he's actually sadistic. He's very much involved with criminal activity. He's a terrorist. He's done all those fucking things. Especially if you have to put like Street Fighter 5 in mind. He just doesn't care. I mean, he catted toward Nash just gets killed by his own military. Like, he gets off on hurting people and shit like that. In fact, I remember reading a quote in Street Fighter 4 where if you beat T-Hawk with him, he legit says, if you can't bear to be together, then just off yourself. Like, I find that genuinely interesting how he just says that without flinching. He doesn't care. He legit does not care. You know what I mean? Like, that's genuinely really cool that he's like that. Sure, there's all thing about like JoJo's and other sources, like, you know, Yasunari Kato I learned about has the best influence on Bison. That's cool and all, but the fact that in universe he's so detestable and so evil that he legit cannot die properly, it's interesting to me. Because the thing about what I understand about Psycho Power is that you can defeat the bodies all you want, but you would never truly beat Bison. You would never truly beat Bison. He'll always come back. Doesn't matter. He's just that powerful and that evil. And he just seems like a necessary evil a lot of times, because as much as you have Gil there and all these different things, you need Bison to remind people, hey, pure evil legit exists. You know what I mean? So that's my thing with that. And what makes it even more interesting is what Street Fighter 6 did with him. Like, that Bison's a clone. And due to him being a clone, something you quickly learn about said clone. Oh, he's dead. Something you learn about said clone is that, in a matter of speaking, Shadaloo does not need to exist. It's just a means to it just makes conquering easier. But it's not an absolute thing that you need. That Bison needs, and I find that interesting. Speaking of Bison, let me go to that place. So yeah, I just find that fascinating. I also like this whole body acceptance thing that this Bison is doing, you know what I mean? Like, I genuinely find that really cool. Like, yeah, he's not perfect, but who cares? I like my body, and that's all I need. And if anybody tries to, like, take my power and take my, like, what I want, I will kill them. If a new clone comes out, I will end them. It's really interesting. And his extra stuff you learn about, it's like, it's just, you can't get enough of him. So the first reason, like, the true reason I want to talk about Bison is the fact that I want to talk about how evil he really is. I already said about the dolls and how he treats people with parents. In fact, there's an iconic line that stays in my head all the time. And no, I know the Tuesday line is iconic, like that comes to mind as well. But here's my thing. It's the cartoon. The cartoon version of Bison. It's like, yes, I killed your father. What is with you women anyway? I killed my father too. You don't hear me whine about it. Like, Jamie, that is so evil. Like, he takes something that's a common cliche of like, you murdered my parents, how dare you? And he's just like, I killed my father too. You don't hear me whine about it. It kind of reminds me of a Joker during Batman Beyond. You know, when he comes back and everything like that, and he just laughs at Bruce at the fact that, like, you would think that someone named Batman has some complex backstory for why he does what he does, but no, he's just some sad little boy thinking that just because he lost his parents, that automatically makes him an orphan. Which, by the way, I have particular opinions about the orphan thing. I have particular opinions regarding that, so I'll get to that eventually. But my thing is this. The fact that Joker was just like, it would be funny if he weren't so pathetic. Like, oh, what the heck, I'll laugh anyway. You know, that fucking shit, it just... Oh. Oh! My God. Yeah! It's just fucking great. Like, how can you not love that evilness, you know what I mean? It's, oh! I need more evil villains like that. You motherfucker. I will destroy you. That is for doing the double knee press on me, bitch. Also, speaking of Bison, look at these guys. They're just working for this guy. Whether or not they're evil or good, it doesn't matter. They're still working for him because he's just that influentially and powerful and damn. You know? They can't do nothing about it. It's like they fear him that much for the most part. And you have other soldiers who just can't do anything beyond serve him. Because everything that makes them unique is gone. Like, again, that's League's more interesting. Like, that just shows how evil he is. They can't do anything but beyond serve him. Sure, you have those, like, rare few who do it out of loyalty, but again, Bison doesn't give two shits about loyalty necessarily.
No.
Even the dialogue for your character is speaking in a way that genuinely fears him. And that makes sense. Like, genuinely, you really think that if Bison were to actually exist, you would just stand there perfectly fine? I don't think so. Because my thing with Psycho Power, it is a supernatural thing. He's a demon. Worse knowing the fact that Bison himself pretends to be human. Just to fuck with people. Like, he gets off on it.
Do you see now the difference in our power?
He pretends to be human just to mess with people. The extent of his evil, the extent of everything he is, we only get like a fraction of it.
You fell for it.
That's what makes him extra scary. And what's interesting is that in turn makes Bison complex. Damn, fucking hell. That legit makes him more complex with that in mind. Damn.
Do you see now the difference in our power?
I'm gonna try to go it again. I beat him before, but it's just I want to beat him again. Number of fighters. I have no memories of such an encounter.
It is possible.
See, that's interesting. He's still Bison, but it's still Bison.
Now,
Like, how can you get like okay? Like I was saying before, about him being complex. He is complex. It's just not in a way that makes it seem like relatable, quote unquote. Like he's not deep in the sense he has like a point or nothing like that. He's just evil. Evil can be complex. It just doesn't need to be done in a way that feels forcibly empty, if that makes sense. Like forcibly deep. Pretentious. That's the word I'm looking for. Pretentious. Like my main issue with characters like Gil is like, oh, they talk in a way that makes it seem like they're correct, but they're not. And that's dangerous, you know what I mean? It's cultic. The same which happens with damn!
do you see now the
Dang, like I said, Bison is complex. It's just you do it. It's done in a way that's not personal, I guess.
weak?
It's just I don't know. I can't explain it. I guess you just figure it out yourself. Help me out a little bit here, like whoever's watching and listening to this, like help me out, like explain it. Cause I'm not good with explaining certain things when it comes to things I'm passionate about necessarily. Like I can explain it, but I can't explain it. If that makes sense.
This is it. You are barely worth the effort.
Like I don't know how to explain the way that makes more sense. But I'm sure you understand what I'm trying to say.
You will learn. It is
He's
possible.
complex due to like. Anyways, I just love evil characters like Bison, and yeah,
That's not good.
it helps knowing the fact that we have crossover games like SNK versus Capcom and shit like that, and you have things like Bison and Geese Howard beating. You wanna know why that's so interesting to me? You have two evil villains, both named after animals. And that in the universe, people view them as pure, unadulterated evil. Like, do not underestimate them. Do not treat them as a joke because you will die in horrible manners. You never know, etc., etc., etc. You know what I mean? Like, that's genuinely really cool. It's like they take themselves seriously enough to be like, yeah, just because my name is Geese Howard doesn't mean you shouldn't dread me. The same can be said for Bison. Speaking of Bison,
Like that?
like think about it. And furthermore, this is going to be very controversial in a way of speaking. So my thing with Bison is that I've noticed a lot of similarities between him and Dr. Doom. And now I'm someone who's learned a lot about Dr. Doom. I love the guy. But why is it, when it comes to... Why do I fear Dr. Doom more than I do Bison? One is pure evil. Like Jenny, one is pure evil, right? But the other one, it just has this like great messiah complex, more or less. Well, not a messiah complex, but you know what I mean. Damn. And like, not to mention the fucking things that Doom has done are so much worse than Bison that I'm just genuinely disturbed. Like, as evil as Bison is, I don't think Bison will legit do it to where like he gets a lover and he wears a skin to escape hell as an armor. I don't think he would do that. And if he did, it still wouldn't come off as terrifying as when Doom did it. At least I don't think so. If that makes sense. Is it? And I just can't help but think. Is it because that Doom doesn't see himself as an evil person? That's what makes him scarier? Because if they both do it, and yet I'm still more dreading of Dr. Doom of all people, then what does that say? What does that mean? I'm gonna be destroyed. Okay, wow. But yeah, I thought that would be interesting. I don't know how to explain it in a way that makes more sense, but yeah. That's just my thoughts on like there's a lot of things I want to say about Bison, but it's hard to put into words in a single video for once. Trying to think of a good example of what I mean. Trying to think. What's a good example of what I'm talking about? Okay, take Gil, right? Take Gil. I've read some of the Street Fighter comics. One of them is Street Fighter Unlimited. And I like Street Fighter Unlimited because it really showcases how nasty Gil really is as a person. So my thing is this. When he used the police project, you know, that giant hand machine that Seth used, apparently it just takes the dark energy within you, and you legit be boiled alive. Like Jalen, you're boiled alive. And Gil is using that to fund his like big goal of like bringing people to harmony. Sure, when Seth was doing it, it was horrifying, but why am I more horrified when fucking Gil does it with the same machine? Bison does the same thing. Again, horrifying, but not in the same context. It's like not in the same sense. It's weird. Okay, stop throwing me. Oh, damn it. You know what I mean? That's the best way I can explain it. Dead. Oh, fuck me! Well, guess I'm not winning that. But yeah. I'm curious to know what y'all think.